Your kidneys could be silently struggling, and one simple mistake in your daily diet might be making it worse every single day. What if a common, affordable food you see every week could actually help protect your kidneys and slow the damage? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change the future of your health before it's too late. Have you ever walked into a doctor's office holding a sheet of test results and felt that chill run down your spine? That sensation that the ground might open beneath your feet while you wait for the doctor to explain what that number means? Do you know which number I'm talking about? The one with a name that sounds heavier than it should? Creatinine. Well, today I want to tell you something that perhaps no doctor has explained to you yet. Something I learned over years of caring for patients with compromised kidneys, seeing people walk into my office afraid and leave with hope. And this secret isn't on a pharmacy shelf. It's in the produce aisle of your local grocery store. My name is Dr. Richard Ben, and I am a physician. Throughout my career, I have followed hundreds of people who came to me with elevated creatinine, desperate and confused about what was happening in their own bodies. And what pains me most as a doctor is when a patient tells me, "Doctor, I didn't know. No one explained this to me before I got here." That is exactly why I'm here today. In the next few minutes, you will understand what creatinine really is, why it rises, what warning signs the body gives before it cries for help, and most importantly, what is the number one vegetable I recommend to all my patients to help protect their kidneys and support control of this substance. Stay with me until the end, because what comes next could change the course of your health. Let's start at the beginning. What is creatinine, and why does it scare so many people? Imagine your body as a city that never stops. A living, pulsing metropolis with thousands of workers active every second. Your muscles are those workers. They move, contract, support your weight, allow you to walk, climb stairs, and embrace the people you love. And like any job, all this activity generates waste. Creatinine is one of those waste products. It is nothing more than a natural byproduct of muscle use. Every human being produces creatinine, without exception, every second of the day. Now, this city that is your body has a high-level sanitation system. 2 extraordinary filters that work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without stopping. Not on weekends, not on holidays, not even on your birthday. These are your kidneys. 2 organs about the size of a fist, located in your back, filtering about 180 liters of blood per day. That's right, 180 liters. It's as if they process a small swimming pool every day, capturing all metabolic waste, including creatinine, and sending it out of your body through urine. So when a doctor orders a blood creatinine test, they are inspecting this sanitation system, checking whether the filters are working properly. If the number is within the expected range, great, the filters are working efficiently. But if creatinine is high, that is a signal. It is not creatinine itself that causes the problem. It is the messenger. What it is saying is, attention, the filters are struggling to do their job. Waste is building up in the river, which is your bloodstream. And why is that serious? Because along with creatinine, other toxins accumulate that the body cannot eliminate. These toxins can cause fatigue that doesn't go away with sleep, swelling in the ankles and feet, especially at the end of the day, nausea in the early morning, loss of appetite, and sometimes foamy urine, which may indicate protein loss. Your body is trying to shout what your tests are already whispering. According to data from the World Health Organization, 10% of the global population has some degree of chronic kidney disease. In Brazil, the Ministry of Health published an epidemiological bulletin in 2024 showing that hospital visits related to chronic kidney disease increased by 152% in recent years, with most cases concentrated in the age group between 50 and 79 years. 50,000 new dialysis cases emerge in Brazil every year. 50,000. That's an entire city of people who, in many cases, could have changed the course of their disease if they had access to the right information at the right time. But here is what gives me the most hope. After years of caring for kidney patients, I've learned that chronic kidney disease progresses in stages, and in the early stages, it is silent. The kidneys can lose up to half of their function without you feeling anything. That is why routine tests are so important. And when creatinine begins to rise, when we reach stage 3, moving from moderate to more advanced, there is still a huge window of opportunity. A window to slow the progression, protect the function that still remains, and improve quality of life in a way many people don't even imagine is possible. And it is exactly within this window that diet becomes one of the most powerful tools we have. Before I tell you which vegetable it is, I need to warn you about something very serious. Because if you've searched on Google how to lower creatinine, you've certainly found an avalanche of promises. Miracle herbal teas that cleanse the kidneys in 24 hours, detox capsules that promise to regenerate your filters overnight, exotic supplements with complicated names. And I know that when we are scared, these promises can feel like a path, an exit, a light. But as a doctor, my duty is to be honest with you, even if that honesty is not what you want to hear. The vast majority of these promises not only don't work, but can actually be dangerous for your kidneys. Some completely natural herbs contain compounds that are toxic to the kidneys, what we call nephrotoxicity. Natural does not mean safe. I have treated patients who came to me with acute kidney injury caused by supplements they bought online without medical guidance. Their condition worsened, not improved. Think of it this way. If your car engine starts making a strange noise, would you pour in a magical powder you bought from an unknown website? No, you take it to a trusted mechanic. Your kidneys are infinitely more complex and valuable than any engine, and we cannot experiment with them. The concept of cleansing the kidneys is a marketing myth created to sell products. Your kidneys are the body's cleaning system. They don't need to be cleaned. They need to be supported, protected, and nourished in the right way. And the real solution, the one backed by science, is much simpler, far more affordable, and within anyone's reach. It starts on your plate. Now, let's get to the secret. Over the years, caring for kidney patients, I've learned that when it comes to diet, we face a very specific challenge. Many foods that are excellent for most people require special attention for those with compromised kidneys. A banana, for example, is a wonderful fruit, full of energy and nutrients. But for a patient with advanced chronic kidney disease, the high potassium content in bananas can be dangerous, because poorly functioning kidneys cannot eliminate potassium properly. And the buildup of this mineral in the blood, what we call hyperkalemia, can cause very serious heart arrhythmias. This is serious. So when we look for a truly kidney protective food, it must meet very specific criteria. Low in potassium, low in phosphorus, low in sodium, yet rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and anti-inflammatory compounds. Something that helps combat oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, which are the silent drivers of kidney damage. And there is one vegetable that fits this profile almost perfectly. A vegetable that major nephrology centers around the world, including DaVita, one of the largest kidney care networks in the United States, already include in dietary recommendations for kidney patients. This vegetable is red bell pepper. I know, you might have expected something more exotic, something rare, a root from the Amazon or a leaf from the Himalayas. But science, most of the time, points to the simple, the accessible, what you can find at your local market every week. Now let's understand why red bell pepper is so special for the kidneys. The first reason is what I call its extremely low potassium load. And here lies a major advantage. Half a cup of red bell pepper contains only 88 milligrams of potassium, just 88. To compare, half a cup of cooked tomatoes, widely used in cooking, has more than 200 milligrams. A medium potato can have more than 700 milligrams. For a kidney patient, this difference is enormous. It's like the difference between carrying a light backpack and hauling a sack of cement on your kidneys. And it contains 0 sodium per serving. 0. For kidneys already struggling with high blood pressure, this is a gift. The second reason is that red bell pepper is a powerhouse of vitamin C. And when I say powerhouse, I'm not exaggerating. One serving can provide more than 150% of your daily requirement, more than oranges or lemons. This matters greatly for the kidneys because chronic kidney disease is a state of constant inflammation and oxidative stress. Imagine that inside your kidney cells there are sparks, free radicals, causing tiny fires all the time. Vitamin C acts like one of the best firefighters, neutralizing these sparks and protecting kidney tissue from progressive damage. The third reason lies in that vibrant red color. That color is not decorative. It comes from compounds called carotenoids, especially capsanthin and beta-carotene, which are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. And chronic inflammation is exactly what wears down the kidneys day after day, year after year, silently. A study published in the scientific journal Nutrients in 2019 found an association between higher dietary carotenoid intake and a slower decline in kidney function in patients with chronic kidney disease. In other words, eating foods rich in these compounds may help slow the clock of kidney damage. The fourth reason is its richness in vitamin B6 and vitamin A. Vitamin A is essential for maintaining the integrity of the tissues that line the kidney filters. Vitamin B6, in turn, helps prevent certain types of kidney stones and also supports the fight against anemia, a very common complication in kidney disease because damaged kidneys produce less of a hormone called erythropoietin, which is responsible for stimulating red blood cell production. And the fifth reason is fascinating: the gut-kidney axis. This is a relatively recent discovery in medical science, and it has changed how we think about nephrology. There is a direct communication between the gut and the kidneys. A healthy gut with balanced beneficial bacteria helps the kidneys. Why? Because when harmful bacteria dominate the gut, they produce toxins that enter the bloodstream and reach the kidneys, which then have to work harder to eliminate them. Red bell pepper contains fibers that feed the good bacteria in the gut, creating a balance that directly benefits your kidneys. It's teamwork happening inside your own body. But before we continue, I need a moment with you. If this content is making sense, if you're learning something that no one has explained to you this clearly before, I'd like to ask you for two simple favors. First, like this video, not for me, but so YouTube understands that this kind of serious medical content needs to reach more people. Second, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because in upcoming videos, I'll show you other foods that protect the kidneys, the habits that silently damage kidney function, and much more. And tell me in the comments, did you already know about the benefits of red bell pepper for the kidneys? Write pepper in the comments if you didn't know this before today. I want to see how many people are receiving this information for the first time right now. But what comes next is even more important, because knowing that red bell pepper is good is one thing. Knowing exactly how to prepare it, how much to eat, and what precautions you need to take to use it properly is a completely different story. And that's exactly what I'm going to explain now. Let me introduce you to Mr. Antonio, 73 years old, retired, born in the countryside of Minas Gerais, a man of few words but great determination. He came to my office with a creatinine level of 2.8, uncontrolled high blood pressure, and a list of medications he admitted he didn't fully understand. "Doctor, my wife is scared. My daughter looked it up online and said I'll need dialysis." He wasn't looking at me, he was looking at the floor. I sat down, looked at him, and said, "Mr. Antonio, you haven't reached the end yet. We still have a lot to do." One of the first changes we made was in his diet. We moved away from ultra-processed foods, daily processed meats, and excessive salt, and we included red bell pepper as part of his routine, along with other changes guided by a renal nutritionist. 6 months later, Mr. Antonio's creatinine had stabilized. He returned to the office with his wife by his side and said, "She's sleeping better now." I smiled and thought, this is what preventive medicine does. It doesn't just care for the patient, it cares for the whole family. So let's talk about how to use red bell pepper intelligently in your routine. The first way is raw, which is the best way to preserve vitamin C since it is sensitive to heat. Slice it into strips and store it in the refrigerator in a sealed container. It stays crunchy, sweet, and fresh. Use it instead of chips for an afternoon snack. Mix it into a salad with leafy greens, cucumber, and a drizzle of olive oil with lemon. Use it as a boat to fill with tuna in water, shredded chicken seasoned with herbs, or low-sodium cottage cheese. Simple, tasty, and powerful. The second way is lightly cooked, which also has advantages. Light cooking, such as sautéing or roasting, breaks down plant cell walls, making carotenoids like capsanthin and beta-carotene easier for the body to absorb. Slice it into strips and quickly sauté it in a pan with a drizzle of olive oil. Add onion, garlic, and zucchini. It becomes a delicious side dish for grilled fish or chicken breast. Or roast the whole pepper in the oven until the skin darkens. Then place it in a closed plastic bag for a few minutes. The skin will peel off easily. Season with chopped garlic and olive oil. This roasted pepper can be used in omelets, mixed with scrambled eggs, or served alongside any dish. As for quantity, the recommendation is moderate and consistent, 1/2 to 1 cup per day, which equals about half a large pepper. You don't need to eat it at every meal. Incorporate it into one of your daily meals and you'll already be getting the benefits without overdoing it. And here's a tip I give to all my patients who need to control potassium in other vegetables like potatoes, carrots, and spinach, the double cooking technique. Peel and cut the vegetable into small pieces, place it in a large pot with plenty of cold water, bring it to a boil, and let it cook for 10 minutes. Drain the water, which is now full of potassium released from the vegetable, and discard it. Add fresh cold water and cook normally. This process can reduce the potassium content of a vegetable by up to 70%. But be careful, this is only for people who have potassium restrictions recommended by their doctor. Always consult your specialist before making any dietary changes. And the most important warning of all, there's no point eating red bell pepper every day if you're going to drown it in salt. Sodium is the #1 enemy of diseased kidneys. It forces the kidneys to work harder, raises blood pressure, and causes fluid retention. Learn to use herbs and spices for flavor: garlic, onion, cilantro, parsley, lemon, black pepper. Nature has given us an entire pantry of flavors without salt. Use it. I also need to be completely honest with you about limitations and precautions. Red bell pepper is an excellent tool for early and moderate stages of chronic kidney disease, stages 1, 2, 3, and early stage 4. But if you are in advanced stages, late stage 4 or stage 5, or if you are already on dialysis, your diet is a critical and highly specific part of your medical treatment. It must be carefully designed by your doctor and a renal nutritionist. Do not make changes, not even adding red bell pepper, without first consulting your healthcare team. They know your case, your tests, and your medications. Speaking of medications, many patients with high blood pressure use a class of drugs called ACE inhibitors, the ones ending in pril, such as enalapril, and angiotensin receptor blockers, the ones ending in sartan, such as losartan. These medications are excellent for protecting the kidneys, but can cause the body to retain more potassium. So any significant change in your diet should be communicated to your doctor. And I'll remind you once again, red bell pepper is a powerful soldier, but it does not win the war alone. It is one piece of a much larger puzzle. Doña Maria was 68 years old and a retired teacher. She came to me with type 2 diabetes for 10 years, controlled but fluctuating blood pressure, and a creatinine level of 1.9, early signs of kidney impairment. She was a curious woman who wrote everything down in a notebook. "Doctor, tell me what to eat and what not to eat. Tell me clearly and I will learn." That sentence stayed with me. Together, we created a complete plan: strict blood sugar control, adjusted medication, and a diet rich in kidney protective foods, including red bell pepper as part of her weekly routine. 1 year later, she returned with her creatinine stabilized at 1.7 and a look of pride on her face. "I brought the updated notebook, doctor." This is what happens when the right information arrives at the right time. Now let me give you a practical plan to take with you. Starting today, include red bell pepper in at least one daily meal, 1/2 to 1 cup per serving. It can be eaten raw as a snack, sautéed as a side dish, roasted as a seasoning for eggs, or mixed into salads. Vary the preparation so you don't get tired of it. At the same time, gradually reduce the salt in your diet. Replace processed meats, salty snacks, and ultra-processed foods. Eat more freshwater fish, skinless poultry prepared with minimal salt, and vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, and cucumber, which are also very low in potassium. Monitor your blood pressure regularly. If you have diabetes, manage your blood sugar every day. These two factors, blood pressure and blood sugar, are the leading causes of kidney disease in Brazil. And please, never stop a medication on your own. Always speak with your doctor before making any changes. Do your routine tests: creatinine, urea, uric acid, urinary albumin, and estimated glomerular filtration rate. These numbers tell the story of your kidneys. The earlier you understand what's happening, the more tools you have to change the outcome. A researcher from the University of Edinburgh and colleagues across Europe published a study in 2025 following more than 109,000 adults for over 10 years, and found that people with diets rich in flavonoids, compounds found in colorful vegetables like bell peppers, had a 16% lower risk of developing chronic kidney disease. 16% may sound small, but on the scale of millions of people, it represents hundreds of thousands of lives preserved. The Brazilian Society of Nephrology and nephrology organizations worldwide emphasize that diet is one of the irreplaceable pillars of kidney care, not as a substitute for medical treatment, but as an essential part of it. You and your doctor are partners. You need to do your part outside the clinic, every day, with every meal. Before we finish, I want to leave you with a thought I've carried for many years in medicine. Your kidneys work tirelessly for you. While you sleep, laugh, play with your grandchildren, or watch the sunset, your kidneys are filtering, cleaning, and balancing. They never ask for a break. They deserve that, at least once a day, you choose something that helps them instead of overloading them. Red bell pepper is one of those choices. Simple, beautiful, colorful, and scientifically supported. Health is not bought at the pharmacy. It is built plate by plate, choice by choice, day after day. If this video brought you any light, hope, or information you didn't have before, I sincerely ask you to share it with someone you love. A parent, a friend worried about their test results, someone who may need this information.